Hey everyone, it's Tasha from the Bookish Gal, and today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up. The first book is one that I already mentioned in my video a couple videos back, and that is Blood Promise, which is the fourth book in the Vampire Academy series. I already mentioned this, I'm not going to talk more about it. I'll link that video down below if you missed it. I read World After by Susan E. I mentioned this also, I think, but this is the second book in the Penguin and the End of Day series, and it's basically about an angel apocalypse. And then I finally finished the series with End of Days, and this was so good. I picked it up immediately after because I had to continue on after reading this. The series is just so action-packed, very interesting, very different. You're never bored with this series. This final book, End of Days, it actually got pretty disturbing. I mean, the whole series is disturbing, but this one like really took the cake. It got really dark in the religious sense. Because you know it is about an angel apocalypse, but we also got to learn a lot about the angels, the history of them. So yeah, I really love this series as a whole. Definitely recommend it if you don't mind the gory, gruesome stuff. I finished Snow Like Ashes. I started it like a year ago or even longer than that. I got halfway through and I really liked it, but for whatever reason I just stopped, and I finally finished it. I did really like it. I felt like I would have connected with it more though, of course, if I read it just in one go, you know, that I didn't take a year or more break between reading the first half and the second half. That definitely had an impact on how I felt about the book. I'm not sure if I should continue on with the series. I'm definitely interested to know what happens after, but I feel like I'm not going to be too heartbroken if I never find out. So let me know if you think it's worth reading the other two books in the trilogy. I think it's just 2 more books. I'm not even telling you guys the ratings that I gave them. I always forget. I gave Blood Promise 3 stars just because it was really hard for me to get into, and it was definitely my least favorite of the series. I gave World After 4 stars and End of Days 5 stars. And then I gave Snow Like Ashes 4 stars. I finished Legion, which I mentioned before also. I mostly listened to it on audiobook, but I did read some of it, and I gave that only 2 stars just because it was a total letdown. I didn't like the ending. I'm sure most of you know what happened. That was just lame and unnecessary, I feel like. Honestly, just the series as a whole was terrible. I loved Divergent, but that's about it. Insurgent was boring, and Allegiant, I just completely lost interest, and I was only trying to finish just to complete the series and just be done with it already. I read The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This is another one that it was so hard for me to get into, which I hear is a common problem with this book. After the first 100 pages, then I started to really get into the story, but it took me literally 4 tries to get to 100 pages. The first 3 tries, I just completely could not. I even tried listening to it on audiobook. Do not listen to it on audiobook, it was boring. But yeah, on the 4th try, I finally got past 100 pages, and then I continued on and finished it. But yeah, I didn't connect as well again because it was so hard to get into, and it took me a really long time, so there was a gap in my reading. But I did like it. I do like where the story is going, and I definitely want to continue, especially because everyone seems to just be obsessed with this series and I want to be in on it. And then finally, the last thing that I read in June was Saga Volume 6. This is my absolute favorite graphic novel series. I'm sure you've heard of Saga now. It's a sci-fi series that's a little R-rated, but it's so funny and really great graphics, and I definitely am going to read Volume 7 in July. This month. It's July, huh? So that is everything I read in June. I was pretty surprised with how much I read, 7 books, but to be fair, one was a graphic novel, and like 3 of them or 4 of them I like half started a long time ago, so I only had to read like half of the book. It was still pretty good though. I'm really proud of myself, and I'm making good reading time this month so far. So yeah, I'm really excited for what July is going to bring. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!